You shouldn't be picking up. And secondly, you shouldn't be inviting random girls into your place for a threesome. You should scope them out. Literally scope them out before they scope you out. Guys just getting robbed, mugged, drugged, killed even for their cell phone. And it's their own fault at the end of the day.
In today's video, Kurt Cass talks about the dangers of the Passport Bros movement. And he also gives advice on how men can stay safe in countries such as Colombia. Let's get into it.
There are girls that actively go out and search for naive tourists and use this drug to rob them. So what they would do, it would often be 2 or more girls. They would prey on an unsuspecting foreigner. They'd go out for drinks with him and slide in some scopolamine into his drink. And oftentimes it happens when they're in a secluded place, so they can rob his phone or his wallet, or in his apartment where they just clean him out. Now, this happens a lot here in Medellin. It is famous for scopolamine, for people getting scopolamined. But I think that if you have common sense, you wouldn't allow 2 or 3 random chicks off Tinder into your apartment on the first date and just go out and start drinking with them, right?
Passport Bros are being robbed and attacked at extremely high rates here recently. Dozens of American men have fallen victim to violent crime in Colombia alone within the last several months. Passport Bros are also being targeted in countries such as Brazil and Thailand. Unfortunately, a lot of these men are very naive and they put their full trust into women that they just met off Tinder, as well as red light districts.
So these guys assume that 3 random hot Latinas want to come directly to their apartment.
That's correct. And
of course, yeah, of course that's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's basically it. They think that these girls are coming over to bang, and they're not. They're just out there to prey on naive tourists.
Yeah.
And usually these girls are backed by gangs, so they are not just doing it on their own. They are a part of a very organized and intricate crime group. They have hackers behind them to hack the phones, to hack the laptops. They know how to get into the bank accounts. They are very tactical, so they will not just drug you and take your phone and run off, because then they'll get caught on security cameras. They are very, very tactical with what they do. They barely get caught. A lot of the times, I'm not going to say it because I live here, but there are people behind them. So I don't want to get in trouble because I live here, but there is certain people in power that are corrupt and help let these organized crime groups thrive in the city. So to answer your question, it's girls that go around drugging unsuspecting tourists with scopolamine, which grows naturally here in Medellin.
And it happens a lot.
It happens a lot. It happens a lot to tourists. They don't do it to each other because, yeah, it's insane. Speaking of which, it has never happened to me. Why? And this is the thing that a lot of people have noticed in my videos, is that I am very, very conscious when it comes to sussing out people. So I'm very clued up on social cues. So I can pick up people's vibes and intentions very fast. So if I feel that a girl has got the wrong intentions, I'm out of there. I'm not going to be spending my time or inviting her back to my place. But a lot of naive tourists that think, oh, it's Colombia, girls are easy, they're not going to think that. They're just going to think, oh yeah, I'm getting too, and they're going to end up drugged. And then they wake up the next morning thinking, oh, why do I know this much about it? I live here and I've seen many stories about it.
So the saying goes, if it feels too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah.
You're not going to get that threesome with them 2 hot Latinas or foursome.
Passport Bros are so fixated on sex that they're completely oblivious to these organized crime groups targeting them. Because just like what Kurt shared, these women are not acting alone. A lot of these working girls who prey on passport bros are tied to criminal groups. These men need to be more careful and have awareness, or else they'll just become another statistic.
Thailand was kind of, I wouldn't go back there. I wouldn't go back to Thailand or Indonesia or anywhere there. Thailand was full of sex tourists. Those were the type of people going to Thailand. Sex tourists, sexpats, creepy middle-aged dudes going to get chicks, pay for chicks.
Tiny
to pay for chicks,
yeah.
not just get girls in the normal way, right? So they go there to pay for chicks. Well, I just didn't feel comfortable in Thailand or Indonesia. It's kind of just dirty, full of sexpats, full of it's not my cup of tea.
Sex tourism is the biggest motivation for passport bros to travel the world. But unfortunately, that practice is very exploitative to both women and the local population. These men think they're doing something so revolutionary by being a sexpat, but the whole world condemns them. In this last portion of the video, Kurt is going to share his advice to men who want to start traveling.
I think for a lot of the people watching this it's not where you go to, it's kind of the way to get there, you know? So traveling is not gonna make you happy if that's what you're looking for, if that is what you're lacking. It is more of, what can I do that makes me happy or that fulfills me? That's what I've taken out of these last couple of years, and traveling it's just a bonus.
Yeah.
To be honest, now that I have the means to travel wherever I want to. If I want to go to the Maldives, I can. If I'm like, I want to go on a sick beach vacation with my girlfriend and just hang out for a month, I can. But it's not going to change how you feel inside, because once you return from that vacation and go back to your job, you're just going to feel So
if you don't like your job,
going
on holiday is not going to solve that, but it'll be a temporary fix.
Or if you don't like your life, if you don't like anything in your life, whether that's whatever it is, that's your looks, that's your physical situation, your dating situation, whatever it is, if you're unhappy about something and you think that traveling is going to change that, it's not. It can give you temporary happiness and a new experience, like I said, but it's not going to change anything from within.
I also think a lot of people have a warped perception of travel.
Yeah.
Travel and vacations are two different things. Going on holiday to a beach for 2 weeks then going back home isn't the same as traveling. You're going to be in a safe place, you're going to be in like a resort, it'll be comfortable and cool.
A very nice hotel.
The amount of, we've both been traveling for 3+ years, the amount of happen every week or every month that we don't tell people about. But you need to be prepared that bad things happen constantly.
Constantly.
It gets a bit easier the more money you have. So when you were poor, if something really bad happened, it'd be 10 times worse than it would be now.
Yeah.
And if the guys listening are planning on going on a broke backpacker long-term holiday, be prepared for some really bad things to happen. Money-wise, physically, mentally.
Yeah. So if you get arrested, are you going to bail yourself out? You're going to get a lawyer. That's just to start with. That's probably one of the worst things that can happen. If you break your arm, are you going to pay for that when you're abroad if you don't have insurance? There's many things that money can solve, but with time, when you're traveling, a lot of bad. We just get into uncomfortable situations, right? Uncomfortable things happen, bad things happen, which is just a part of life, really. But like you said, traveling and going on vacation are two different things. So going to the Maldives, the all-included resorts, food, everything paid for. You got the gym, you lie on the beach, you suntan, you go in the water, you go home and sleep. That is different to getting on the bus and touring Latin America and staying in hostels. So those are two different things. I'm not the biggest fan of backpacking. I had to resort to it because I was broke back in the days, but I don't really like backpacking. I do it every now and then, get a bag and go travel, catch buses and planes, and but that's for content. But I don't enjoy backpacking. I don't enjoy walking around sweaty, staying in hostels, having no internet. I don't really enjoy that. I prefer going to cool places or going to places that I think would be interesting and staying in a nice hotel.
I think that's cool that you've now realised that changing certain parts of your lifestyle, you're still able to do everything you were doing, but you're happier. And that was accommodation, transport. That's pretty much it. Maybe food.
Yeah.
Maybe food. That's what you spend your money on now. Those three things.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the questions. What has changed since you've earned more money?
What has changed?
Yeah.
Probably just lifestyle conditions. So normal things like getting a better apartment or better Airbnb or a better hotel, paying a bit more, nicer clothes. When I was broke, I couldn't afford to buy Bosch jeans. Better food, so I can actually spend money on better quality food. I don't have to eat $1 street food. And that's basically it. I can afford almost anything that I want nowadays, but those are the things that have changed drastically. It's just lifestyle, basic lifestyle things. So when I was broke, I just had to wait. When you earn more, I think those are important things to feel comfortable, right? Have a nice place.
One of the questions was, why was being in Asia one of the worst times of your life that you said? I think maybe you were exaggerating, but
it wasn't one of the worst times of my life, but it was one of the worst travel experiences I've had, or one of the worst areas that I've been to. I just didn't enjoy it at all, to be honest. I'm not a fan of the food, so I don't eat seafood. I despise seafood. Most Asian meals, or a lot of Asian meals, consist of seafood or fish sauce or oyster sauce. I just can't do that. So that is the one thing. If you can't eat in a place, you're just going to be miserable, eh? If you don't like the food. So that was probably the biggest thing I would say. I hated the food. It was very beautiful. Like Thailand was beautiful. The beaches were class. It was cheap. Just that's pretty much the main reasons why I didn't like it. The food and also probably, I don't know. You just when you go to a country, you're just like, yeah, this is boss. I like the locals. I like the people. The people are cool. My neighbors are boss. They're quiet. The food's boss. You walk outside, you get a good meal. I don't know. You just feel comfortable.
So that's gonna be the end of the video. Kurt shared some great points about the dangers that passport bros face and are unaware of. These men unfortunately are becoming statistics due to their carelessness overseas. And the unfortunate reality is that a lot of these men go overseas to exploit destitute women. There's also been reports of certain passport bros messing with minors. A lot of these practices that passport bros are participating in overseas are very shameful, and they're being condemned worldwide. But I hope you all enjoyed this video and learned something new. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and comment your thoughts down below.